Good afternoon, everybody. So my name is Didier Vautier. So I will give you a flavor of how we use simulation in the development of ADAS. But what I will explain can be used for ADAS, but it can be also used for multi or inter-system or multi-system simulation. So first of all, the discussion will be split in two phases. First, I will re-explain the simulation workflow and challenges that we have to face at Renault. And I will explain how we manage these challenges. And in the second part, I will explain how we run RTLab Orchestra in different numerical phases for simulations at Renault. So first of all, just to remind everybody that simulation can be used in a resimulation process or in simulation process. First, it has to be these two processes are not opposite, they are complementary. And for resimulation, you use physical sensor. So you record the real data from the physical sensor, you use the model of the system, and then you play the recorded data, you throw it to the simulation models, and then you analyze the results. In this resimulation process, what is important is it is used at Renault for non-regression test, but it is a process that is open loop. That means that if you modify the software, then it will not be modified in the recorded data. So that can be used only for non-regression, or at Renault, we can use it also for validation of the detection part. So when you address the physical part of the sensor, for example, the camera or the radar, then we can use the resimulation for non-regression test. On the second workflow could be simulation, but in simulations, we use a scenario which are digitalized, but we use a digital vehicle, and then we can modify the behavior of the vehicle, and you have a closed loop. So we use simulation in closed loop because if you modify the control law, for example, then the traffic will be automatically modified because all the agents in the traffic have their own intelligence. So simulation is used for closed loop testing. So basically, we use simulation in the downstream of the development. So first phase, the V cycle, the first V process of the V cycle, and we will use the resimulation more in the upstream activities just to test non-regression when we have real parts. At Renault, we use a generic simulation chain. So this chain can be used either very early in the process with model in the loop, very rough model in the loop, but we can use also this chain with very detailed model using, for example, at the end, software in the loop models. This chain, this generic chain, is split in different parts. First is the scenario catalog, which is used to create the scenario based on expert knowledge, accident database, field test. This scenario catalog, which are we call logical scenarios, they are used to create a simulated scenario, and we use them in a scenario factory. So the scenario factory tests these logical scenarios and create concrete scenario that could be run in the simulations. In parallel, we make a digital vehicle. It means that we compile or we put all the models of the different system, including the sensor model. And then when you have scenario and digital vehicle, you can play this simulation on a massive simulation. For example, if you want to validate and to test reliability of the systems, we use massive simulation. Or sometimes if you want to use a real driver, we connect it to a driving simulator. That means that we put a real driver in the loop. And then all the results are stored in a data lake, and then we can treat this result and capitalize either on the scenario or make modification on the digital vehicle if we have found problems. That is a generic process. Just to illustrate what is a digital vehicle. So for example, when you have a model, a sensor model, as we are making simulations, system simulations, we are interested in behavioral model of the sensor. That means that we don't make the real algorithm of the camera, for example, but we modelize the effect or the functions realized by the camera. For example, if you detect line, if you are in good weather conditions, the range of the camera is high, so you detect lines far away. And if you are in foggy conditions, then the detection rate is degraded, and then we simulate the degradation of the camera. That's the way we do it for the camera. And of course, the impact on the simulation is obvious, because as you detect not so close and so far, then the detection is not so good in terms of the performance of the systems. Another system which is important is the scenario factory. The scenario factory is the ability to create this scenario. So we have different ways to create the scenario. Either we import HD map directly. So we have automatic tools to create this scenario. So we extract directly the 3D model of the road, and then we put all the informations that we can collect from HD map. The second way to create the scenario is to record or to start from real data, and then with this real data, we are able, with using GPS, object data, ego motion, we are, as you see in the film, we are able to recreate digitally a real scenario. Why do we want to do that? It's because after that, we are able to modify certain parameters of the scenario, and then we create new cutting or new behavior of the vehicle starting from a real case. Another way to create the scenario is what we call to create complex scenario, and we are speaking of SOTIF, which is to create scenarios which are not we cannot imagine. And with that, it is with a high speed, but we create from complicated scenario, complex situation, meaning that we mixed every situations. It's like when you pass your driving license, you learn how to brake or cutting and so on, but the real life is a mix of all these situations. So based on that, we have a catalog of scenario that we can run on the platform. The platform, as I said, can be massive, because we are speaking of validation, not only verification, but validation. That means that we are able to download, to upload this model in a cloud. So we upload the scenario, the system that we want to test. And today at Renault, we are able to manage 500,000 kilometers per day, meaning that we have not least that 330 terabytes of data, meaning that we have to use modern tools like intelligent artificial tools to analyze this data. And around this platform, we have different rules, meaning that we have people in charge of making modelization scenario, running the scenarios or the simulations, and making the data analytics like a data scientist. And all that is managed on the simulation platform architect. And I will speak about RTLab, but the simulation plan architect is responsible of defining the IT architecture of the simulations with the continuity of the tools along the cycle of development. Finally, we have a driving simulator. So we don't cut the loop, we use the same model, but at that time, we connect this model directly to a driving simulator. So you see two driving simulators today, the big one from Nissan, and we are interoperable with Nissan, or on the right side, we have the Renault. And in this year, we will have our new big driving simulator, which will be delivered in S2, which is called Roads. And we have the capability to make high dynamic simulations with high immersive capabilities. So we directly connect all the model, all the platform directly to the driving simulator to be able to make some tests like a safety test or acceptability test. But all that is meaningful if we don't create the continuity with system engineering or software engineering system software. So that means that we need to manage traceability of the models, configurability of the models, and that is done with a connection with model-based software engineering. So today, just to simplify what we are doing is we extract the functional diagrams from system engineering, and after we populate this functional diagram with models coming from software engineering. And of course, software is not only MATLAB, it is MATLAB, but it can be C code, it can be Python code. So we use to link these models to the functional models, and to make the simulation, we use FMU FMU compatibilities to populate this functional model with software, and to create the executable file, which after can be uploaded in the massive simulation or on a workbench, on a bench to make, for example, HAL validation. And just to summarize, that means that what you have seen in generic can be addressed for massive simulation, but also to make simulation for bench, like HAL bench or driving simulator. And just to illustrate the different, upstream we have functional, so we make the simulation with functional models. During the development of the project, we have organic, so that means that we have more precise models of the systems, and then we continue to make the simulation with models which are more precise. And then at the end, after tooling go-in, we make a correlation between these models and the real vehicle, and we speak of digital twin. That means that at that times we have a correlated model, and then we can help people to make a map, so to finalize the different parameters, and to optimize performance and robustness of the system regarding the customer feeling. That's what we are doing today at Freno. Now, how we use Opal RT Lab in our system. So I have explained that all these models can be run on a model in the loop system, but can be used also on what we call PVS, platform validation system, mixing different models. And we are at Freno using PVS non-real time or real time, mixing all the different models. So what we do, we use Opal RT at the middles, and we embed on Opal RT all the different models, which are MADA, C code, and also we use the models of the CAN or the EE architecture modelization. So today it's CAN, but we also have Ethernet modelization. And we have also, at the end, we have all these environments connected to Scanner, which is AV simulation software, which help us to make the zero-day ND simulations, which runs different scenarios. So just to make illustration, mill system can be run on a table, so just as a bench, and is very used at the beginning of the development of a system, meaning that people use that, for example, to validate the functional models. After we have, during the process, at a certain time, we have a numerical E architecture, because all the functions can be embedded on ECUs, and that leads to a numerical E architecture. So we modelize the E architecture. And then we have the E architecture modelized, we have the models, and we integrate everything using Opal RT. So we have all the models functional E architecture running on the same platform, and we push that on a massive simulation. So we push that on for example, on the cloud Azure, and then we are able to run different models, and these models can be directly ECUs models. But we also have real-time activities, because when we use this PVS platform validation system on a driving simulator, we need to monitor and to be real-time compatible because the driver is real-time. And then we use the same structure, but using the capabilities to be run in real time. And the final discussion is about the challenges. And as Hervé said, all these platforms can be run on Workbench, but also can be run on massive simulations. So it is very important to have the capabilities to run OPAL-RT and all the models in this environment in the cloud, with also a licensing model, which has to be taken into account, because we don't pay for every node, but we pay for a global performance of the simulations. Okay, that's all. I hope that you have understood the process and the application of OPAL-RT at Freno. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was really well done.